What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 40th episode of the Hot Takes podcast. We made it all the way to 40. Very exciting. I'm pretty proud of us that we made it this far in the podcast. It's been like 2 years since we started, I think, or about to be 2 years.
Probably right around that. I mean, you lose time right now.
Yeah.
In this quarantine, I have no clue.
Right.
2 years feels like yesterday, but dude, it's been crazy. No, you're right. It's an awesome accomplishment.
100%.
So much fun.
Well, I'm here with Luke Ganz, my regular co-host,
Howdy.
and my cameraman, Joe Critelli, the regular crew, the OG crew here for the 40th episode. So we're doing a couple different things for the 40th episode, and really the main thing is just taking your guys' questions and topics that you want us to answer and talk about on the podcast. I think we're going to do that for every 10-episode thing that we do. Like the 40th, we're doing this. 50th episode, we'll do something special. 60th episode, we'll do something else. Yeah. So we got a couple of questions that we're probably going to talk 15 to like 20 minutes each. We'll see how it goes. And then we have a little challenge that me and Joe are going to do at the end, which is trying out this crazy hot sauce. We'll talk more about it later, though.
And I'm a bitch, so I'm not trying hot sauce because I hate hot sauce.
One thing news-wise, though, that we all want to talk about right now is the Avatar Last Airbender live-action series that's going on, that's in the works right now at Netflix. It was just announced today that the original creators of the cartoon Avatar: The Last Airbender have dropped out of the live-action series due to creative differences. Bad start. Very bad start. And it's just very worrisome because we've already seen a live-action movie that did terrible. So,
listen, in my opinion, again, I feel like you got to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like with a situation like that, I mean, you're taking the guys that made the show good, and you're taking their knowledge behind it, and now they're like, no, we don't want this or that. And exactly like you're saying, I mean, look at the first go-around that we tried with this. M. Night Shyamalan took a M. Night Dookie on it.
Right.
Like, dude.
And you want to know what I'm curious about? I wonder if the original creators had any part of the movie. You know what I mean?
If they did, maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
Maybe it is, yeah. In that sense, maybe it is.
It might be.
But it just doesn't. It's not sounding like a good start right now at all for it.
The thing that is like kind of worrisome about it is it kind of reminds me of not only like the D.B. Weiss and whatever, Benioff and Weiss
with
from
Star Wars.
Thrones with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Also, the original directors of Solo from Star Wars.
That's right.
Also, Colin Trevorrow was supposed to direct Episode 9.
Yeah.
And the script and the concept art for Episode 9 behind Colin Trevorrow were...
They were scrapped?
No, they were beautiful. They were so much better.
They were beautiful, but they threw it away.
They chucked it.
Yeah, right.
If you go look at the storyline for what it was supposed to be behind it, like, again, you're not a big Star Wars guy, but like Joe, like, look it up, or even you would like enjoy it, just like the concept of it. It's just so much better, and instead they were like, you guys, Colin Trevorrow, thanks, but like, no, we're gonna go a different route. They brought JJ back, which like I didn't even hate that much about it, but then he just kind of like rushed a dookie on us and was like, haha. And so like, I mean, if it goes to that degree, like what we've seen, it doesn't look hot. It might cause some problems.
We'll see what happens. It's still very early on in the process with it. I mean, who knows how much involved these original creators even were in this process? Who knows if like they were gonna have writing credits or even directing credits? Who knows what their part of it was gonna be, really?
Yeah.
But
not a good start.
Not a good start.
No.
Yeah. Hopefully they could get someone that we all know and has some sort of experience in, I guess, like that action of it, or like that mystical kind of like world kind of deal.
So I don't know how affiliated, and I don't really think personally I would want him to leave the Star Wars franchises to go do something like that right now, where he's really doing well with like Mandalorian stuff. But Dave Filoni was originally part of the Last Airbender stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, I really do think he might have only been affiliated with like certain concept design and stuff, like drawings and animation. So I don't know if storyline wise he would be great for it, but I've seen what he's done with Star Wars, and if he's as invested in Avatar or like even can get invested like that, I mean, he's the right guy just because like he's so good with the nitty gritty. He's so good with the concepts. Like everything has to connect perfectly. He tries to leave like zero plot lines or plot holes or anything. So that would be a good pick for me.
Sure.
Because he's done great with, again, Clone Wars and Mandalorian, but that's just my take.
Got any input on it, Joe, or no? Not really?
I just look back to when I went and saw that movie, The Last Airbender.
In the theater?
In theater. We went from Predators to The Last Airbender. We did a little movie hopping. Yikes.
God, that's a bad day of movies in general.
Predators wasn't awful. It was entertaining, I guess.
Yeah, but like, I mean, you went from Predators to Last Airbender.
Yeah, it was awful.
That's like, you didn't even get, like, we went, remember when we were talking about it, like, last time, we did Toy Story 3, and might have done, like, maybe it was Planet of the Apes at the time or something, or
sure.
Whatever, but that's a double whammy of
phenomenal.
good films. You just did two shitty films. Or you did one that was
okay.
one salvageable film, and then one that was that bad that made the other one really bad.
It was bad, man.
Yeah.
It was real bad.
I think, isn't it like single digits on Rotten Tomato?
Oh, I'm sure it probably is. I'm not too sure.
I gotta look it up because I'm super intrigued.
We're gonna see an Onion article tomorrow saying that Netflix drops original creators for M. Night Shyamalan once again.
Yeah.
For the
I
live-action
can't. Yeah, I
series.
can't wait. That's coming.
Yeah.
My God.
I don't want to get too much into it because we're going to talk about it in a later episode, but me and Joe both watched the second season of Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
5.
It's got a 5. Yeah, exactly.
It's got
very close to Fantastic Four, the new Fantastic Four. So Fantastic 4%. But yeah,
we should have like a bad movie.
It's got a fucking oh, bro. We should do what we should do? We should do your top 10 favorite bad movies.
Oh, hell yeah. We'll do
I think that would be great because, like, Norbit would be probably my number one because, like, everyone loves Norbit. Like, everyone, talk to someone or talk to a female or talk to, like, a younger kid that's seen it. I feel like everyone's like, oh, I love Norbit. It's so funny. And you're like, this is not funny. Like, nothing about that movie is funny. Like, Chad? Like,
yeah,
runs through a wall or something. Like, oh, my God, it's terrible.
But all I'll say is about Umbrella Academy Season 2 was fantastic. I know you thought the same, Joe.
I heard it's great.
It is a great show.
A really good show, right? I haven't started it. I was telling Frank, Ozarks is like, we're diving deep in Ozarks right now. So that's fully commitment. But I was looking at it the other day and I almost started it. I was like, I kind of like this. Because the main guy, the blonde guy, I don't know his name, the actor, the tall blonde.
Game of Thrones.
Yes,
he was. Found that out today.
He was what's his name's son in Game of Thrones. He was
Tully's, right?
No. Sam's dad.
Yes.
Who's Sam?
Sam's brother. He played Tarly.
It was
Tarly's son.
Randall Tarly's son. Yes, correct. But he's also in Black Sails. No, Dickon and Rickon. Dickon and Rickon.
Am I going crazy?
I don't.
Probably.
Dick on Tarly? No, I don't think so. But he was also in Black Sails, and that's why I said that. Have you watched Black Sails?
I have not.
Black Sails is a fucking great show.
Wanted to watch
Black Sails is a fucking great show, dude.
Is that another Netflix show?
It's on Hulu. But,
okay.
It was on Stars, I think, back in the day, or it was on one of those channels. But dude, it's so good. It's phenomenal. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean in a TV show, but like actually violent and stuff. So
okay.
It's nice.
I could get into that. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. All right. Let's get into these questions. Let's do it up. Unless anyone else had anything to add about anything else.
I'm excited.
All right. So, first question. This one comes from Joey. Is college worth the money? Now, this is a pretty, I guess, like, not sensitive topic, but very controversial topic.
I love this question.
I want to say yes, because a degree is not bad to have whatsoever.
No,
it can't hurt you. The only thing that's hurting you is your bank account, right?
And yourself.
And yourself,
Who you are.
in a sense.
Like, yes, you're 100% right, but you've got to think that, like, you have to distinguish yourself as a person of interest.
Oh,
that's
sure,
what I'm saying.
sure.
So, like you're saying, yes, your bank account will be hurting and whatever, and, like, but you'll never get those 4 years back. Like, it's a great time. Like, It is a
Exactly.
fun time. Like, I always take a poop on my old college. Like, I went to Montclair, so I'm not far. Like, me and you were very close to each other. It was fine. It was a good time. I met a lot of great guys from it. I keep in pretty good contact with them, decent contact. But, like, you don't want to take those years back, but you needed them to make you who you are in certain ways. Like, it helped you mature in certain ways.
Yeah.
That, in my opinion, help you now because, you know, like I was saying, you need to distinguish yourself as a person when you go to college. Because, like, yeah, you got a business degree. So did 6.8 million other Americans.
Right.
So what is making you different? So that's the biggest thing that I would say about, like, college, like, I guess, like, in the positive mindset with it, would be, like, when you go, don't just, like, get your 4 years done and do it. Like, do things. Like, if you want to be in a fraternity or a sorority, do it. If you want to be part of a club, do it. If you want to start something, do it. Because those are going to be the things that grab your attention in an interview.
Yeah.
Past college, because I've gotten more people that have asked me about a foundation I've worked with or a this or a that compared to, oh, like, so you took humanities or you know, like, you did this or you did that. So, like, if you're a business person, like, what am I going to ask you in the interview? I'm going to be like, oh, so you were a business major.
That's it.
You want to tell me about, like, yeah,
right.
like, what you want to tell me about it? What are you gonna say? Like, yeah, you know. So find your lane and really make your, like, don't just do business. Like, find something in business and become a sports business major.
Yeah.
With a, you know, international business. Like, make it your own and make it something distinguished so that you can, you know, really go in. I was a humanities major, and it was because I wanted to be a guidance counselor. So, like, I wanted to kind of pivot to that. So whenever I was in an interview for a sales job, people were like, this is humanities. Like, what? So I'd be like, yeah, I like the study of people. Like, I like knowing why people did things in the past and why we still either repeat them or don't repeat them now.
Sure.
So, like, that's kind of how I describe, like, humanities.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I love that question because, like, people ask me, they're like, what's humanities?
Right.
What did you do? I'm like, well, I read a lot of books that I hated. I did a lot of projects that were just terrible, but it taught me about why this happened then, why we do it now or don't do it now. So it's like, it's cool to, like, see that study of it. So I think college is worth it, but it depends.
Yes.
I'll get to the second part, but I'll let Joe say anything first because
I didn't even finish my 2-year school, bro. I think college is worth it, you know,
Yeah.
if you're going to put the time in and the effort.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, I'm going to keep it short. You're going to waste your parents' money or wherever the money's
your
coming
money,
from,
your parents' money, wherever it's coming
Yeah.
from, 100%.
Like, it's just going to be a waste, and you're not going to feel good about it either,
Yeah.
Right.
you know?
I
But-
think, well, first off, I want to say the whole humanities thing.
Yeah.
Like, your answer right there, it's a very intellectual answer. Like, that alone, like, grabs people attention
I
and
love
whatnot. And you know what I mean? Like,
I love when people ask me that question. It's
yeah.
like a lot. It's like a softball toss. to me. I'm like,
interviewers
great.
would love that.
Yeah.
And I could also 100% agree with finding your whole lane and everything like that and becoming the person that you become and
Yeah.
all that and making the connections as in friends and all
Yeah,
that
of
good
course.
stuff. I joined a fraternity there
Yeah.
because, and that's the other thing too, if you're going to go to college, go away to college.
Oh, yeah.
Live there, you know?
Yeah.
Learn to live on your own. Learn the responsibilities.
100%.
And, you know, you find yourself and you find lifelong friends, really.
Yeah, I always wanted to go to the University of Oregon. I'm like a diehard Oregon Ducks fan, all
Yeah.
the way out on the other side of the world. And I wanted to go there and wanted to apply when I was in high school. Didn't apply because I was too afraid of, like, the rejection for it.
Sure.
So I went to Montclair, and then after I did my first year, I made good friends, but I actually went to apply again, and I really wanted to do it, and then I just, like, at the last minute was like, you know what, I want to stay, and I want to do it here. And I don't want to say it was a regret that I didn't do it, because, like, I would have loved to have went out there. I think, like, that for some reason I'm so attracted to out there, even though right now it's like a disaster.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, everything happens for a reason. I I believe that till the day I die. That'll be a my brother has it tattooed on his arm. It's going to be my tattoo eventually. My grandfather used to say it all the time. So, like, we die by that. But, you know, I mean, look, it's like you said, I think the biggest problem with college or even high school is that they don't help us distinguish what we want to do early on enough. I think Freehold Township did a pretty good job with it. Like,
with the electives, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was in a sports business, sports business, like sports and marketing, sports and business, and that was a blast. Like, that helped me learn about, like, the sports lane. We played fantasy football. We learned about, like, how to start a business. We learned about how to sell, like, all these different things. So that helped a lot of kids, but in high school, it's almost like do this, do that, get your degree, get your SATs, and go to college and figure it out. And then when a lot of kids get to college, they don't know what to freaking do.
Yeah.
So you have so many kids that are undeclared. Then they're undeclared. They spend a year doing stuff. All of those classes they just took had no affiliation. Boom. Take another year of school.
Yeah.
Add that on to your major. Then you got to pay more money for your major. Then you got to... So you know what I'm saying? It's like...
The thing with being undeclared, I think that's actually a pretty safe and good thing to do, because you could go through your first year of college just doing your GE classes.
I was undeclared.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
like, just take your GE classes that you got to take regardless of what your major is first. And, you know, and it just gives you more time to declare a major and just give you more time to actually figure it out.
Yeah.
Besides, like... It'll go back to spending another year of college if you change your major later on.
It was actually funny. So, like, my first year, I was given the advisor that I had was a piece of shit. Fuck you.
What is that with advisors?
Bro,
I feel like everyone has a bad first advisor.
My advisor was so bad that she basically told me that I would never do anything in my life. She's like, you'll never be able, like, she literally, because I told her, I'm like, I want to be a business major eventually.
Yeah.
Which, like, again, like, I was like, it was business or it was something with teaching. But then, like, obviously humanities came along. I was like, I think I like this better than just teaching. And I minored in business. But she low-key was like, yeah, no, like, you'll never be able to get into the business school. I'm like, why? She's like, well, your grades. I'm like, well, I know my grades aren't great, but, like, I know I can get them up. She's like, yeah, but, like, you know. And you know what? It was one of those things that to this day I kind of look at and I'm like, you're an asshole. Like, screw you. But at the same time, look at where I am now. Like,
right.
I can't be super mad about it because at the end of the day, it's taken me to this point in my life. So, like, it's one of those things where I always kind of like to live the life of, like, all right, well, you know what? I just want to prove you wrong. Like, I really want to just prove to people when I was younger. It's almost
motivation.
Yeah, because, like, dude, I had a learning disability when I was younger. I just didn't learn as fast as other people. So I think that's, like, my biggest strength, in all honesty, because now I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the smartest kid in the room because, like, people like to flame me all the time and tell me I'm not. But at the end of the day, I'm personally super impressed with my growth and my development, and I learn now what I want to learn. Like, I'm learning more about some of the things that I've always wanted to learn about over the things that I don't give a shit about.
Sure.
So, like, yeah, you can name me this and fucking what's the X root access of whatever the hell. I don't care. Like, and that's not to say that someone else shouldn't. Go care about that.
Yeah.
But I care about certain things that are not the things you care about. And that's how life is, right? Like, that's how college is. So, but, like, Connor, my brother I didn't think my brother was going to go to college. I'll be straight up. I didn't think, I thought that just wasn't his thing. My dad didn't go to college. My dad started a business. My brother decided to go to a 2-year school. My brother went to a SUNY school in upstate New York, and he went for welding, and he got a welding degree. So he got all his certifications, so now he's a welder. He opened his own, like, small business with it and stuff like that. So that's the thing. It's like, is college necessarily worth it? Like, no, there's a lot of people that succeed without college. Like I said, my dad did. My mom did 2 years of dental hygienist school, or maybe 3, 4. I don't know how long it takes, but it really just depends on what you want to do. Like, find your lane, find what you want to do. If you want to be a welder or a carpenter or whatever, if there's a way to go to school and get a certification for it, yeah, it looks great to get your bachelor's. Like, it looks great to have that.
Right.
But also, don't let that be the thing that determines your job. If you want to do something, put your mind to it, and you can do it without a degree. But then that goes back to my first point. You have to be the best candidate regardless of your degree.
Yeah.
Because without a degree, you're already kind of a leg down on a lot of interviews. And that's not, I don't like that. I think that's wrong.
I hate that.
Because I think you should be hired off of... I think a degree should help to an extent. Like, I think it should be like, okay, great, you have a degree that adds a little value. But that doesn't diminish the person that doesn't.
Yeah.
Because if they're a good enough salesperson, teacher, this, that, whatever, then great. Like,
Yeah.
then hell yeah, you should be able to do what you want to do. So, I don't know, I think, like you said, I think it's worth it. I think you should do it because it teaches you lessons. It helps you out. I mean, look, we've all done bad things and good things in college that we figured out not to do or to do a lot more of. So it's valuable. It's worth it. But like Joe said, it's about how much you want to put in. Because if you go and you just don't give a shit and you're a ninth-year senior...
Yeah,
you're
right.
wasting money, you're wasting your own time, like, you know. And again, it's not for everyone. So if you go for a year and you're like, screw it, don't put yourself through 3 years of something necessarily if it's not your passion.
Sure.
Find a way to make money, find a way to do something that you're proud of, happy of, and it can help you and bring in income, and do it, man. Just
Hell yeah. Are you still into welding at all, or is that something you still think you want to do?
I think I want to do it. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, it's all right.
well,
but-
bro, hit my brother up.
Yeah, I was about to say, if anything, get some advice from him or something.
I looked into welding. My one of my dad's good friends that works at the company my pops works at.
Yeah.
Is a welder, and he was showing me some stuff one time, and I was definitely really interested.
Dude, it's super sick, and I'll tell you right now, it's so funny. We were talking about this before I left. My brother is like the funniest person when it comes to the fact that he's like, yo, bro, like I can't. I'm just making fun of him with this, but he's like, yo, I can't lose weight. I'm like, what do you mean you can't lose weight? He's 130 pounds, obviously more, but it's because he wears like pants, long johns under it, a long sleeve shirt, and then he's welding in front of like 10,000 degree heat. Like, obviously it's less than that, but whatever. But I'm like, dude, what do you mean you can't lose weight? All you're doing is losing weight. You don't eat breakfast. Like, he barely eats breakfast. He'll have like a Dunkin' iced coffee as his like breakfast and lunch. I'm like, you're a psychopath.
Yeah.
What are you doing? But he actually didn't do a union. He was going to do a union, and he just said, he's like, you know what, I want to do it my own. And it's kind of like my dad's thing. My dad did carpet himself.
Right.
So I think my brother was like, no, I want to do this on my own. So my brother's done great. He does a lot of small jobs with people. He's done a couple jobs for like wedding companies, like wedding planning, building them like archways and things like that. And, you know, I mean, he's always tinkering and fixing with his like quads, motorcycles. We bought a trailer that we're trying to sell, and he like bought it because it was damaged. So he's like, great, we got a great deal, and he just fixed it up. So, you know, yeah, dude, I would tell you, I mean, if you ever need, like, just let me know. I'll give you my brother's number. Even if you just go and sit at my house for like an hour or 2 hours, my brother's not going to care. He's just going to want you to watch and then just listen to him and do it. You know, he has people all the time that are, you know, he's gotten, I think, like 2 or 3 people into welding that were just like doing, I don't want to say nothing, but like we're just doing stuff, and then we're just like, oh, great, like I like this is interesting, and now he's like helping them, and
It is fun.
Yeah,
I've done it a little
sick.
bit of it
It's
myself at a job of mine.
I tried doing it, and it was like, I wasn't the best at it, so I was like,
Oh yeah, I wasn't anything great.
I was like,
either,
oh,
but-
I can take my lane on this one.
Sure,
I was like,
sure.
I'll take a step back.
Yeah.
I don't wanna-
For me, it's like I'm still not sure if that's what I want to do. I haven't. You guys know me pretty
Yeah,
well.
dude. I mean,
I haven't known what like I wanted to do for the longest time, but welding always was like intriguing to me. But I don't know how I would actually do, and I'm afraid to have my parents pay for school because let's be honest, I got no freaking money. I got like a little bit of money, but not
yeah.
much.
Well, I mean, dude, biggest thing I would say is find places that do classes. Like, why enroll in a school? Like,
When you can just take like one class.
if you can go, and even in this case, if you can text my brother and say, hey, I'm kind of interested in this. I would love to pay you $200. Can you give me 5 hours of your time of whatever? And that's like 2.5 hours one day, 2.5 hours another day. One of the sessions is you just sitting there listening, watching. The next session is you sitting, watching, and maybe doing a little bit. At the end of it, if you don't like it, guess what? You just spent $200. Again, I don't know the dollar amount, but why invest in a 4-year degree? Try it out first. Look up online. Go classes for welding. I guarantee there's somewhere around here that'll do it, you know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So, but if you don't want to enroll in Brookdale, then don't enroll in Brookdale. Find a place that can do it, like, as a substitution. Like, I wish I had done more in high school to like, get my, you know, my foot in the water with more things. Like, again, like, I wish I backpacked more in high school. I know that's not really necessarily this, but, like, I wish we went on more adventures. Like, we used to do our weird New Jersey shit, but we never really went on, like, crazy hikes back in high school.
Yeah.
And we did it in college. We loved it, and now we do it now. We're like, fuck, we should have done more of that when we were sophomores, juniors, seniors. We would have had the best times of our lives, you know? Yeah. So it's really just about, you got to take advantage of it, you know? You got to take advantage of those kind of opportunities. But
For sure, yeah. Couple more things I'll say on the topic. One, my dad didn't go to college either, and he ended up doing great for himself. Yeah. The thing with me, I still have a year to finish, to be honest with you. And why it's taking me an extra year is because I just party too much and, like, truthfully, you know, got high. Like, literally. Literally, that was it. And I look back on it and was like, yeah, I should have definitely dedicated myself more. Yeah, of course. Because then you start feeling bad. It's like, oh, I just wasted this money on that year and whatnot. Yeah. But I definitely want to go back, finish my last, like, 5 classes that I have, and that'll be that. Then I'll have a degree, and like I said, like, people get very mad at the fact that they don't have the job that they thought they wanted or they still want.
Yeah, of course.
But and they're mad because they spent all this money on a degree, right? Definitely, and then their answer is, oh, college isn't worth it at all, right?
Yeah, which is not the case.
Which is not the case, but a lot of people get mad at that, and now they have that opinion in their mind and whatnot. But I think it's definitely worth it. Trade schools with the whole welding thing, I think that's a fantastic thing too, and that's what, only 2 years, like you were saying, right?
Depending, yeah. I know kids that have done longer, but I think it's a 2-year program. Like, my brother graduated the same time I did. I did 4 years, he did too. So
okay, yeah.
But again, dude, look, keep it simple. Life is not set in stone for anybody. Like, it's not the most of that is up to high school. Like, we have to do our 3 years of middle school in New Jersey. What is it? 3 years of middle school, 5 years of elementary school, 6 years of elementary school, whatever. 4 years of high school. It doesn't have to be 4 years of college, but it could be 6. It could be, you know, it could be 9.
Right.
I'm not one to say it. Like, I don't think you should, especially depending on the situation.
At that point, is it?
Yes.
Is it?
It's like, are you wasting the money?
Right.
But that's just not how life works. Like, life works in crazy ways. Like, life happened in scenarios with you. Like, you've had life happen to you, right? I've had life happen to me. Joe's had, like, life happens. So you can't sit there and be like, oh, I didn't finish on my 4-year term. It was a waste. No, right. I know people that finish in 3 years and were like, this sucks. Like, I got a good job and everything, but, like, I wish I spent you just wasted an extra year. So figure it out along the way. But, like, I think it's worth it. Yeah. I'll end it with that.
Yeah. I'll end it with that, too. I do think it's worth it as well. We'll move on to our second one. Now, this second one, very broad.
Oh, great.
And I typed this question in exactly how he sent it to me. Adam, NFL Top 100. Now, we don't got to do Top 100. And I'm assuming he's meaning players. Right? So maybe
he's gotta mean the players.
Maybe let's just list off like 10 players. I'll leave this up to you two, really, because
5 best players in the NFL
right now.
Well, no. We'll do like a top 10, but don't go too in depth with it because this is going to be an episode later on.
That's fine. Ready? We'll do 5 now, like you said, and 5 all timers.
Right.
Really quickly.
So let's start off with now. I would say personally, Mahomes number 1.
No, Mahomes 1.
Aaron Donald.
2 or 3, depending on where you want to put him value-wise. So here's the problem. It becomes a toss-up with, like, running backs-wise, because, like, in my opinion, I'm going to say Saquon. But in everyone else's opinion, they're going to say Zeke. I also think McCaffrey is one of the most valuable players. Like, I would probably put McCaffrey at, like, 3 through 6. But I would also put Saquon at 3 through 6. So, you know.
Where do you put a defensive player like Stephon Gilmore? Would you put him like...
I would put him outside the top 5 because he's a great asset for your team and he's an amazing player. But in my opinion, like our top 5 right now, I mean, you could go off the bat and say, you could say Mahomes, you could say Kittle at 5. Mahomes,
I mean, you could.
Donald.
Disagree.
So Mahomes, Donald. Who else we got? You could say Lamar.
You could say Lamar. Yeah, I would agree with Lamar. Dude, I mean, Julio's phenomenal.
Yeah. Then you could say McCaffrey and or Saquon. That's 5 already without getting to a defensive player.
You know, I was having that conversation with my friends, Saquon or McCaffrey, like 2 nights ago. And I came to the conclusion that I would take Saquon, but McCaffrey might be a little bit better.
So here's my thing. I think they're both great players. Like, I think McCaffrey's a phenomenal player. I'm obviously a Giants fan, so I'm a Saquon guy. Like, that's my boy. But at the end of the day, it's really, you got to look at the pluses and minuses for him. Like, I think Saquon is a better runner. I think he's a better running back. I think McCaffrey is more utilized because he can be thrown to very well. He's, like, shifty. He's good. He's quick. And he's elusive as shit. Yeah, it depends. Then you could say Lamar. Like, again, you can say Lamar. You can say Travis Kelce. You can say Kittle. Wide receiver-wise, you can say, like...
Julio Hopkins,
yeah.
Michael Thomas.
DeAndre, yeah, Michael Thomas. I mean, like, I might even put Michael Thomas 2 over DeAndre Hopkins. Like, again, it's a toss-up. So
Julio firmly at 1. I think he's firmly at 1.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't disagree. It's like, I think he's too good, dude.
All right, let's get defensive players going right now. All right. So
nobody on the
Aaron
Giants.
Donald's got to be the best defensive
I mean, yeah, Aaron Donald's the best defensive player. Not even a question.
Phenomenal.
And he's like
generational player.
Dude, he's so good. He's so good. I mean, you could say Gilmore. That's fine. Gilmore's an appropriate player.
I'll put him at 2 or 3 if we're talking defensive players.
I would put Clowney up there too, but it's got to be healthy Clowney. The problem is when he's not healthy, not that he's useless, but like look at him, he's all over the place. Linebacker wise,
is Kuechly still going strong?
He's gone.
He's not.
I
knew that.
Dude,
linebackers is where it gets tricky.
Khalil Mack.
Well, he's a good player.
Animal. Dude, I don't...
D's. We got so many D's.
So many defensive ends. Oh, my God.
I keep wondering why the Patriots traded away Chandler Jones. Man.
Dude, the Boses, Chandler Jones, the Boses, both of the Bosa brothers could be top 5. Easily.
You are right about
Easily.
that.
So, I don't even want to dance around it because it'll take way too long and we'll just go back and forth with it. But I do want to know really quickly, why did you say Kittle not up there? I didn't say Kittle was 5. I didn't... Listen, I was saying he's up there, so I would put him in the top 10 probably. I'd put him at like 9 or 10. Dude, I would put either him or Kelce at around that area.
I feel like, I don't know, the value of a tight end. And tight ends have become more and more valuable over the past
but that's the thing.
15 years. But at the same time, are you going to take a tight end over a cornerback like Gilmore, like Patrick Peterson?
But that's the thing. It depends on the scenario because, look at those guys. At the end of the day, if you've got Patrick Peterson or Gilmore going up against a Kittle or a Kelce or a Gronk, they go up. You got to look at your linebackers. Your linebackers are usually going up against the tight ends, right? Like the tight end is usually getting matched up against one of them. So not to say that cornerbacks never face them, but it's not as average of a matchup. So look at a cornerback who's usually 6 foot to 6'2" ish.
Really depends on the team, man. All the Patriots CBs
cornerbacks
are under 6
exactly.
foot basically.
Exactly.
Right now.
But what I'm saying is how tall is a tight end? A tight end's anywhere from 6'3" to 6'8", depending. Like you probably got some monster. How tall is Kittle?
He's got to be 6'6".
He's probably 6.
6'5" at least.
I'm not.
How about Jimmy Graham back in the day, man?
Oh, rest in pieces. Jimmy Graham was so good, but he couldn't stay. He couldn't stay healthy. He's in pieces. But again, like we said, this is a super broad question because like you could bring on 10 different. I could tell you 10 people to bring in here, and we could talk about football all day and just like have just violent arguments about it. Like, in all honesty, I would probably recommend you bring in my entire dynasty football draft team, like all of them. So that's like Dunshee, Dilly, Golding, Dylan Burns, Matt Alamina, like all those kids. We get everybody in here. We just hash it out. That would be a nightmare scenario. But if we're doing top 5 all time,
Brady, Jerry Rice, in whatever order you want.
so
That's mine.
Brady, Jerry Rice, LT.
Yeah, LT, 100%.
I would, in my opinion, I'd probably put LT. I'd put Brady, LT, Jerry Rice.
You gotta
And
put Montana there too, but
I'd probably put like Montana at like 4 or 5, depending. Then you could put Randy Moss. Then you could put.
If we're talking prime, oh man, Moss is up there with
everybody. Exactly. Like, I mean, dude, you're talking. Oh, dude, it's
Reggie White, we got friggin'
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton, oh my God, don't get me. Dude, the running backs
Michael
we had
Strahan.
back then, man. Oh, Strahan, phenomenal.
I mean, I'm not even a Cowboys fan. Emmitt Smith, like,
Oh man,
it's so bad.
It's
I'm so
tough.
aggravated
It's
that this
tough to
question was
rate.
so like what?
It's tough.
O.J.
to rate
Simpson?
him, man. Oh man, he had.
You could make a case for him being in the top 100. Why not?
Dude, you can because didn't he do? What
He
did?
broke the
Broke
record.
2K?
Yeah.
Wasn't that
He
was
broke-
that less than 16 games? Do you
I think
remember?
so. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost positive he broke it in like Buffalo in like a snowstorm or something like that. Yeah,
Where do you rate a guy like LaDainian Tomlinson?
Oh, that's a great question because like you could definitely put him in the all-time 100, but then comes the argument of the no ring argument. Just like Dan Marino. Dan Marino should be in that top 5. Look at the guy's career.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, oh, he doesn't have a ring. So everyone's like, oh, well, Montana and Elway and Brady and
Bradshaw.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Bradshaw. Whatever. Like, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, is Eli Manning a top 100 player? No. Not even, like, in my opinion,
Really,
close.
not even in the top 100.
No, because
No?
because you're talking, dude, 100 people, it sounds like a lot of people, but that is hard to judge that much. Eli Manning's 2 Super Bowl runs were, in my opinion, 2 of the top 5 greatest Super Bowl runs of all time. Eli Manning's pass, and I'm breaking Joe's heart right now, just like straight up daggers into his heart, because both were against the Patriots. But like both scenarios, they were the underdog. Both scenarios, like they beat the better team. So Eli is a Hall of Famer, in my opinion, because of what he did. Statistically and record-wise, no, he's not a Hall of Famer. I think he literally has a 500 record. Like, I think he's 116 and 116 or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Well, because he
literally.
just won his game because Daniel Jones was sitting out this last season. Something happened, and Eli came and won the game against the Dolphins. I'm almost positive it was the Dolphins. But won the game against the Dolphins and tied his record at 500, which I'm fine with because at the end of the day, I can sit here, I mean, Joe can sit here and say he saw 5 Super Bowls in his lifetime, but I can say I saw 2, which I know tons of people, for the Jets especially, that they've never seen one in their lifetime. Their grandparents might have seen one in 68 or 69.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so he's not a top 100. Peyton, on the other hand, is. Peyton's a top 100 player.
Peyton's top 20.
I would put him top 25.
Any position,
Depending on what you'd
Peyton's
want
top
to,
20.
yeah, because if it's all positions, it's super hard. Because then, because again, offensive players are always valued more. But again, why I said LT, in my opinion, is the second best player of all time is because Lawrence Taylor was drafted as a defensive end and became a stand-up linebacker, which didn't happen back in the day. Like, no one played that position the way he did, or a standing defensive end. And now look at him. I mean, like, he was literally one of the greatest players of all time, and now the position has evolved because of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
I actually showed you highlights of LT, Frankie.
dude,
Just recently, right?
Yeah, I did. Remember the guy that was bullying people?
Bullying.
Yes.
He was bullying.
Yeah.
Dude,
defense.
If you want to,
he was a savage.
It was so effortless.
Effortless,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, he's kind of like the not the same exact thing, but did you watch The Last Dance?
No, I did not.
Okay, so basically how like Michael used to go out and party and would do all this stuff before he'd play like a crazy game and would put up great points. LT did the same thing, but LT would literally do like blow up until like 5 a.m. and then like pull up in a helicopter on the field, and then at halftime he'd go into the locker room and literally get like a bunch of morphine shots, do like 7 lines, and go back out and play. He's not a good guy.
Yeah,
he's a very bad guy. I think he's got like a possibly a rape case on him. I don't want to say I don't know if it was or not. Again, I can admit he's a bad guy, but he's a great player.
Yeah.
Phenomenal player. But
gotcha.
Yeah, dude, he's too good.
I don't think you'd be wrong calling him the second best player of all time, but for me, he's got to be like 3 or 4 because I think Rice and Brady are just 1A and 1B. I showed you Jerry Rice.
Mm-hmm.
He was phenomenal. Effortless for him too. All these guys, they make it seem so effortless, man.
Oh, it's so crazy.
Like,
exactly.
What?
Yeah. It literally is absurd to think that these guys are so good in certain scenarios.
Right.
Like just like without like even having to try. Like you said, I'm freaking out because Clint Frazier, do you know who Clint Frazier is on the Yankees? The redheaded kid? Clint Frazier is this young young player on the Yankees that kind of can't make the main roster because there's so many talented guys there. Mm-hmm. He's really good, but it's kind of like that conflict of like there's so many good guys and there's a guy on the outside that's like, I'm really good too, but you got to open the position kind of a thing. So one of the guys got hurt and he's able to play tonight. So me and a buddy were texting about it, and I said, yo, he's going to hit for a cycle tonight, which is a single, a double, a triple, and a home run. And he's 1 hit away. I think he needs a triple to hit the cycle.
Wow.
So my buddy just texted me and goes, yo, bro, you literally called it. He's 1 hit. He's a triple away from hitting it, which a triple is probably the hardest of all of them to hit.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, oh man, like if he gets it, I'm just going back and I'm screenshotting it, saving it. I'm like so excited too. But
our boy Joey was, Joey Stans was talking about the Yankees, and he was saying there was something else.
He's a Cowboy, or he's a Cowboys fan.
No, he's not a Yankees fan.
I don't think he is.
I don't even know what he's a fan of for baseball, bro. He's a fan of.
I was gonna say because it makes sense.
Whatever team he bets on, my boy.
Oh man,
that's funny.
I actually don't know what he's a fan of, dude.
I have no clue what baseball
team.
He
was saying they were phenomenal, man. Because I always ask him about like Harper and like Mike Trout, and see how they're.
Well,
doing.
Trout is a Angel. Harper is a Philly.
No, yeah, I was just.
Oh no, yeah, I
got you. No, I know.
Well,
they're not.
before we transition to question number
3.
Yeah, we're gonna do an intermission.
All right.
I'll let you pick out of the bag. Close your eyes.
Now we'll go with
Hold
this
up the
here.
camera, Frank.
Kit Kat White.
So I don't know if we've done this before. I thought we might have.
Well, we had the white chocolate apple pie.
Yes, but I didn't know if we had just the white chocolate one. So I was like, screw it, we're going to do it anyway.
Sure. Yeah, all right. I'll open this bad boy up.
And then I'll open the other one. We'll do the other one as well because both of them fall under like the chocolate-esque category.
Okay.
So we'll do that.
Sounds good to me. There you go.
I love chocolate. Why, thank you, sir. Almost as good as the apple pie one. That was so good.
That one was so good. I haven't seen it afterwards, and it's actually a really fucking big bummer because I loved that.
Mm-hmm. This is excellent, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I said in like an earlier podcast that I didn't like white chocolate as much, but I'm not gonna lie. This and a Kit Kat right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is really crazy of a mess.
I think I liked the apple pie one better, but I think this is lighter, so I could eat more of this. You know what I'm saying? So like, I could kind of like get behind like eating that whole thing, and I won't feel as bad. Where the apple pie, I'll be like, all right, that was a lot. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm gonna go. Shit, this is hard. 7.9.
Okay.
That's the score.
I enjoyed that a lot. I remember giving the apple pie one a 10 out of 10. I'll give this one a 9.2 out of 10. I do really like white chocolate a lot. So
Joe?
I thought that was very good.
This is tough. 8.3 out of 10.
8.3.
It does taste it's very light on like the palate, you know.
Oh, I'm excited for this one because I have no clue exactly what I got here. So this is called a Reese's Outrageous. Have you seen this?
I have seen them before.
I've seen it, but I haven't.
Yeah, there you go.
So I have no clue like what it exactly is. I just saw it and I was like, all right, we're gonna try it.
So it's got Reese's Pieces inside of the bar.
And then it's got, I think, peanut butter and caramel as well.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, sir. Oh,
right,
yeah,
boys.
look at that.
ow, I bit my tongue. That's gonna take points off. Fuck.
A little hard to eat, but that doesn't mean it tastes bad. It tastes great.
There's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a bad way, like you said.
Right, trying to figure it all out, right?
But yeah.
The caramel makes it a little hard to chew.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to give that a 6.9. Just because I liked it. But I definitely don't think... I just don't think I'd be able... Like, I'd eat that whole thing and it'd be fine. But again, like we said, it was just so much. I like Reese's Pieces a lot.
They're
I think they're the best.
They're the best ones,
But it's like, then you put like chocolate around it, which like, hey, I'm fine with. But then you also put peanut butter and caramel, which I'm like, okay, what are we trying to get here? We trying to get the peanut butter, trying to get the caramel, trying to get the chocolate.
Yeah.
I got to figure out which one you guys are trying to hammer down because I don't get it. You know what I'm saying?
Outrageous is a very good name.
It definitely describes it perfectly. And just for that, it's a 10.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Because of the name, but...
Would have been better with peanuts, if you ask me.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I could see that, but like, why are you gonna put peanuts in it when you already have Reese's Pieces too? Like, there was definitely peanut butter in it as well.
That would make it a fat bar right there.
I also don't love peanuts in it because, like me, most of the time with candy, this is gonna sound so contradictory because I'm gonna say like I don't like crunchy, but then like Kit Kats are like my favorite one. But like, I don't necessarily want a peanut in my candy. That's just me. I do like peanut M&Ms, weirdly enough, but like I'd rather have the peanut butter than peanuts. But that's just me.
I'm going to go ahead and give that a 6.2. Really, that little piece that I had, right, like what, a quarter was enough. That was like enough for me. Yeah.
I'm good for the night.
It was good, but I don't know. I don't see myself getting that again. I'd rather just get the Reese's Pieces, like you were saying,
or a Reese's Sticks, or a Reese's Fast Break.
See, Fast Break I've never had.
I should have grabbed. I was gonna grab a Fast Break too. I don't.
The Reese's Sticks. What are those?
Those are basically like Kit Kats.
Oh,
but
okay.
Reese's. They are my favorite candy. And back in the day when we used to like hang at my fire pit at my house and stuff, whenever we'd go on a Wawa run, everyone was big Reese's Fast Break fans, and I was a Reese's Sticks guy. I was the only Reese's Sticks guy. Everyone liked them, but like Fast Break was the go-to. I'll die on that hill that Reese's Sticks are better than Reese's Fast Breaks.
All right.
And I am willing to try to convince you in a future episode.
All right. Maybe a debate episode.
Oh, I love it. I'll
What
bring
about-
someone in. I will go to town.
What about the regular Reese's cup?
Oh, I mean, it's stop. Reese's Cup is
Classic.
The
What
classic.
do you
Cup is a
mean?
12 out of 10. It's just no one can touch it. It's just.
I don't know what I would rate this. Like,
Should I just put a question mark?
honestly put a question mark because I mean I can't eat any more of that. That was literally enough. Like you said it best, Frank. That was enough. right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But it wasn't bad. It's just I can't eat any more of that. That was too heavy. That was some heavy friggin'.
It was. Yeah.
Hard to chew. Too.
I think it could do without the caramel. I think it could do without that.
I agree.
You know. Otherwise, it was all right. Yeah.
I wrote rating confused question mark lost stability of intestines.
Good
For our 50th, we'll do another snack review, but I think we should look over all
Oh
our
my
snack
God,
reviews,
yeah,
see what
well,
our top ones were.
I'll have to put this in a freaking Excel
like a little
file.
spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look at this. We got these are. I mean, there's also
Holy
ratings and
crap,
shit too.
yeah.
This isn't all just food. This is like, let's go back. I'll just pull a random one. Child's Play. Frankie gave it a 55. Luke gave it a 55. Smalley. Oh no. Sorry, 55 was the general. I was like, there's no way we all gave it the same score.
These were the over and
Pull it up
unders.
really quick. Child's Play. Let's see the review. We'll go back.
Wow.
Throwback real quick for
Wow.
episode 40. It's been a minute, so let's do this really quickly.
2019 film.
Yep.
Let's see.
Oh God. I want to say that weirdly enough,
All right, wait.
you won this.
What were the numbers for
So
us?
it's 40 for you, 57 for Joe, 60 for Smalley, 36 for me.
Smalley was actually almost there. It's at 63% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ugh.
Wow.
Damn.
I don't even remember Smalley being here for
What
an
about?
episode.
Yeah, it was one episode.
Yeah, well, that's crazy.
What about Hobbs and Shaw?
Okay, Hobbs and Shaw. Let's.
And I
see.
love how low-key Chorman won for Rise of Skywalker, but it's only because Frank gave it an 85, you gave it an 87, I gave it an 83, and he gave it an 82, and it was way below that. So the only reason that he won is because it was I think it's at like a 50 maybe. I'm not even like
Yeah.
It's got such a bad rating. I don't think it's that bad, but like I would put it at the 70s or 80s, like 70s probably closer. But Hobbs and Shaw.
What do we do for Hobbs and Shaw?
82 for you.
Okay.
Joe at 72, Smalley at 70, me at 69.
All right, you were the closest one. It was at 67%.
Bam!
Nice. All right.
Oh, dude, that's a blast. We got to go back and do that too.
Yes.
We got to tally up because we had the list of like who was winning and stuff. I think I'm not gonna lie. I think me and you were like tied, and also I think either Smalley or Chorman was like ahead of us.
Yeah.
Because like the one episode they came in, I think they got like all three right.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, boom, 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 and they all like just took guesses and they beat us. And I was like, damn. Alrighty, well, we got
does
two
anyone want
more.
this, last
I'm
Kit
good
Kat?
on it. I'll
Okay,
wait.
I'll
Yeah,
leave it.
but
I'll leave it there. Yeah.
well, we got two more. We'll do it at next intermission. But
Yeah.
Let's. What do we got? Question number
Question number 3. All right. This one's from Jakim, and he says, "Why not to buy luxury cars and do freehold musicians?" Well, I'll answer the freehold musicians one immediately. I do. I bring them on here all the time, and we do spotlight episodes. But why not to buy luxury cars? I'll go ahead and say, I love cars. I love cars because they get me around to places.
Gang.
I don't like, not that I don't like them, but I'm not an enthusiast of cars. I'm not I'm not ecstatic about the brand new type of car that comes
Of
out or
course.
whatever. I also don't drive the best looking or best running cars because I don't really care that much.
You don't
if it
care,
gets
yeah.
me to point A, it's a point B, I am perfectly fine with it. The one that I'm driving right now is smoking up after 5 minutes driving it. So,
I'm laughing.
and yes, I am in the process of getting a new car,
Gang.
which I kind of already have. It just needs to be worked on. It's a stick, so I need to learn stick,
gang.
which is going to be awesome.
It's gonna be a blast.
Yes,
That'll be its own podcast.
That'll be a blast for sure. But why not to buy luxury cars? I guess if you're really irresponsible and you're prone to getting into a lot of accidents, yeah, don't get a
Probably
luxury
not
car.
smart, yeah.
Otherwise, I think it's fine to
So
get one.
what I'll say on it is there's a couple different ways. Jackham, by the way, what's up, man? So if you want to buy a luxury car, you have to define what your type of luxury is. If you're talking about the Maybachs and the Audis and these lavish cars, if you have the money to do it, then by all means do it.
Yeah.
But never spend outside of your means in a situation like that. Like never go and buy an $80,000 car when you only pull in not even 100,000. Like it's got to make sense, right?
Sure.
But also you think of it in an investment way. Like most of the time, if you buy a car off the lot, it's already decreased in value. Like when you go to try to trade it back in, like it's not a car that's made you money.
Yeah.
A car is never going to do that because, like you said, a car is something that'll get you from here to there. So if you want a luxury car, in certain cases could mean a vintage car. That then in that case is a luxury car because it's nice, it's shiny, it's really a beautiful looking car that only costs you, let's say, this much. Then you got to work on it, you got to do whatever, but then you can flip it. That's a great scenario. Like, my dad has a really nice luxury car, like an old car that he bought when he was like 18 years old. We've put a lot of work into it, and now it's worth more than it is. Not crazy amounts, but
still.
Again, it's still something, and it's something that also means a lot to him because he got it when he was 18 years old. He's had it forever. So you have to define your way of luxury, and you have to really figure out what you want to do with it, because I'd love to be able to buy a Range, a fat, blacked-out, matte black Range Rover. That'd be sick.
Hell yeah.
But it's like, just buy inside your means. Like, I hope one day I can have it. Like, I have a list of, I have a bunch of my old school sneakers, and, like, I have a list of sneakers that I eventually want to buy when I'm older and I have more financial stability. Because right now, I'd love to buy them, but I'm not going to go spend stupid money on it.
Sure.
So, it's all about just staying inside your means, Like, I hope you can have a luxury car one day if you want that. I hope I can have one. I hope we can all have one if that's what we want. But if, like you said, you don't, get something that works. If you got a Chevy Equinox.
Yeah.
My girlfriend has a Chevy Equinox. She loves that car. It's the best car ever. The gas mileage is like double mine, and hers is an SUV.
Sure.
It's like stupid. I'm like, how do you get more gas? She puts like $20 in. She's got gas for like a month. I'm like, I'm filling mine every couple days, like, and mine's a gas guzzler, and it's an Infinity. So it just depends on, like we said, what your range of it is. But
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think it's really all about time and place for it.
100%.
You don't want, sure, the luxury car, it might be real nice or whatever, but if it's going to be bad on gas, let's say, and you're commuting to work,
like
say you're
Jeep.
commuting into, like a Jeep, or like a Hummer, which they don't even make anymore, but like, you know what I mean? But you know what I'm trying to say?
No, of course, it's like...
I don't know. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, like, I know a friend of mine that has a tow truck company that he works with. It's his family business. He has 2 cars. He has a really nice Mercedes-Benz, beautiful car, beautiful car. But he doesn't drive it every day. He lives relatively close to his job, but he drives a Jeep every day. So I always kind of kick him. I'm like, you're contradicting yourself in the worst way possible. Both your cars are bad on gas. Your Jeep shouldn't be the car that you're driving everywhere, but you do. Again, no shade. I love both the cars. They're sick. They're both beautiful cars. But, like, if you got a Jeep because your job is 5 minutes down the road, then who the hell cares? Because, like, you can afford that.
Yeah.
But if you're driving an hour there and an hour back every day to your job, a Jeep is not appropriate because it's 16 to 12 miles to the gallon or whatever.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
Doesn't even make sense. Like, it's not even logical. You can buy, like, again, you can buy an Equinox or an electric car. You could probably buy a Tesla with better gas mileage, and it's not even, it's electric. So it just depends. Like, Tesla's a great example of a luxury car now. Teslas are about to start being made at like $40,000. So there you go. If you want to buy luxury and you want to also be a little bit progressive with how you're going about things with charging stations and not getting gas, there's a perfect example, right?
Absolutely.
So, but I would say that's a pretty good,
Yeah.
All I gotta say is, I do not think it's worth it to buy a luxury car unless you yourself are living the luxury life.
Like, players that have stupid money, buy as many as you want because, like, you have $8.7 bajillion that's just burning a hole in your pocket. Personally, I think you should invest it in financial things, which most of them are pretty good at now. I think a lot of players have diversified their portfolios with things. So it's like, if you want to spend $1 million on cars because you were a younger kid and you always wanted this car or that car, then do it. You got the money to do it. So, again, it all goes back to situation.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you. If you're living that luxurious lifestyle, then absolutely go buy a luxury car. You look at Jay Leno, who is so freaking successful, and he's so big with cars. I'm pretty sure he had his own show about his car collection and everything like that.
Crazy cars.
Yeah, he does. Like old cars, and
he's got one of the best collections in the world, in all of the world.
Yeah.
Our boy Nick Scalacci used to always show me
well, he's a car guy.
Yeah.
If you really want to talk cars, that should be an episode. Tell him to come on one time. We'll do a car episode.
Absolutely.
Top 5 cars of all time.
Yeah, I might have to not be there for that because my knowledge on cars ain't much.
It's fine. I'm not the best. I'm not the best car person, but you put what you want. You could put a Chevy. You could put a freaking Escalade or a Hummer for all we for a Cadillac Escalade. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you like.
Right.
It's hard to define luxury too.
Oh my, luxury is such an interesting topic now because it's like, ooh, luxury. It's like, not to do whatever, but I have a Louis Vuitton wallet. Is that luxury? Yes, but like at the same time, there's someone that's got Louis Vuitton shoes and underwear and a face mask and a keychain. So that is more luxurious probably than my one piece that I have of it.
Sure,
So
sure.
luxury is in the eye of the beholder, in all honesty, because it's about what you call luxurious and what your values are.
Do they have masks now?
No, I was just.
Oh, that would be
they
interesting.
might. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these places
Someone's
are
probably
going to
make a custom one. Just take a bag, just cut it up.
100%.
I know people that do. I've seen people that do that online. They'll like find bags, like damaged bags or whatever, and they'll just use the material. They'll cut it out and then they'll put it on like a Nike pair of shoes as like the swoosh.
Oh yeah.
Replace it.
That's cool.
That's like but that's like a $300 shoe, which is not actually bad. But it's like on a shoe that costs $90, which is an Air Force, and then the swoosh and the time it takes, it's like $400, and you're like, damn, okay. And some people won't even notice it, so it's like it depends on who's looking. But
I don't know what mine would be, but would you have an idea of what like your dream car would be that you would want to end up with? And that goes for you too, Joe, if you had one in mind.
Damn, what would my dream car be?
Easy for me.
What is it?
2005 maybe. Not even that expensive. BMW M3 GTR.
Great car.
From Need for Speed Most Wanted. That exact car is my dream car.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
So I actually love Infiniti. I have an Infiniti now. My last car was Infiniti. I kind of stay with it. So I'd love to say some beautiful Infiniti, but I'll honestly say I would love to have like a matte black Range Rover or an olive green matte Range Rover.
The Range Rovers are so nice.
Again,
looking.
not convenient gas mileage wise. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the best car, but I think it looks like a freaking monster.
It does.
And it literally looks like. I know this is contradicting everything I said too, and it's like, oh, you have such a big dick when you're driving that car around. It's like you're a big swinging John on the street. But like, I love that car. I think it's so nice. And like every time someone drives past me with it, I'm like, you're so cool, so much cooler than I am. But
all right, we'll move on to
Alrighty.
question number 4. This one comes from Jaeger.
woo.
Why did you start the podcast? Do you take inspiration from other podcasters? I really like this question.
Good job, James.
Yeah, nice. Good one, James. So, yeah, we started this podcast. Podcast is something I always wanted to do. We've talked about it for so long. And 2 years ago, when we finally started it, the motivation, honestly, really came from you when you asked me, like, we should definitely start a podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. Like it started off as a movie podcast.
That's it.
And
now look at where we're at. It's crazy.
Exactly. And as far as like taking inspiration, it was from this guy named John Campia who does it's not a podcast, he calls it a show. And he does what we're doing now, is taking people's questions and comments and making it onto a full out topic about movies and TV shows and everything like that. So that's where the inspiration first came from. Nowadays, and I feel like this is so stereotypical to say for podcasters, cliche to say, but Joe Rogan, because now I just like to do like a freestyle of things where we're not really on like a scripted topic, and it's not all just about it's about basically everything now. So yeah, podcasting is something I always wanted to do, you wanted to do, and once we finally got together, it ended up just being like a flow from there.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do a bunch, and I did one for a little while with a couple coworkers at Champs. They actually went on to do another one without me, so rest in pieces me. Yeah, no shade, total shade. But look, at the end of the day, it was like me and Frankie always said, like, we have pretty, I wouldn't say identical views on everything, but for the most part we're pretty knowledgeable in the things that we talk about. So I was like, you know what, it makes sense. Like we've liked movies since we were freaking stupid young.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm like, we used to literally, when kids, like, and again, I'm low-key a nerd, so like when people would be out doing certain things, we would be at the movie theaters watching new movies and stuff and talking about them, and like, it's just something we've always liked, and the conversations with us have never been hard to have.
Yeah.
So like for the most part, I would say the great thing about it is like with the group of our friends, for your friends that are like your best friends, obviously, I consider them some of my great friends, even though I don't speak to them a lot as much anymore. But it's because we have such a cohesive friendship of where, like, at the end of the day, I know I can just connect with you guys again out of nowhere. Like, that's what we literally did.
And that's what makes good friends anyway.
And that's the thing. It's like, I would rather you guys over 80% of the people that I'm friends with now, because of the fact that you guys, like, we might not talk for 2 years, but then boom, me and Frankie start a fucking podcast.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know, so
and that's like the beauty of it too, because like you just said, we haven't seen each other for mad fucking long until we started this podcast.
Exactly.
Now it's every week or every other week.
Yeah.
You know, which is beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, it was great for me too, because like, I consider myself a pretty outgoing character, and look, I would love for I would love for us to have 80 million views. So please keep viewing and please keep getting us to that. But like, I just like people hearing my opinion on things, and if you disagree, then great. I would love to have your counterpoint, and then if you agree, great. Then keep giving me juice and keep feeding me.
Right.
But
right.
you know, I just love the fact that I'm able to do this, because I don't care if anyone watches it. I would love for more viewers. Please keep viewing. But at the end of the day, it's like, I just like this. This is awesome, because this gives us all a platform to talk in a way that we don't. Like,
100%.
You know, who am I going to talk to about this? I'm talking to my dog every day. Like, oh, how did you feel about M. Night Shyamalan's performance in The Last Airbender live act? Like,
yeah, right.
You know?
Right.
So this is a great platform to do it, and I'm happy that people even remotely enjoy it and can stand me at all. Walking Dead, had to put it in. You thought I was gonna go the whole episode without it, didn't you? Carl! You thought I was gonna go the whole time.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait to run in. Yeah, I guess it was perfect timing.
Yeah, it was a great segue.
Well, what were your first thoughts on the pod? I brought you in maybe the second or third episode once I realized I needed someone behind the camera, because when we first started, it was just 2 GoPros. I didn't even use an actual camera.
Yep.
And once I got an actual camera to do it, I needed someone else. What were your first impressions of it and where it's gone so far and everything like that?
I'm shy, but at the same time, I'm outgoing. I don't know if that's contradictory, but
I understand what you're trying to say.
Like, how do I say this? I was intrigued by, like, the whole podcast thing, definitely. And I was down to check it out. And once I checked it out, like, it was a lot of fun. Like, I enjoy, like, hearing what you guys have to say, what our guests have to say. You know, I feel like my input's awful.
No, dude, I forgot when it was. It was a while back when we, like, first started. And Joe is another person, again, like, I've been friendly with forever. Like, we were good friends back in the day. I've lost a little bit more contact with you guys now, but, like, I think the great thing about Joe is I forgot what episode it was. Afterwards, he, like, looks at us and he goes, dude, you guys have such good chemistry. Like, what the hell? Like, he's like, I was just sitting here and I was, like, mesmerized by you guys just talking about the whole thing or whatever. And we were literally, I'm not even kidding, I think we were talking about, like, something stupid. Like, something so dumb. And he was just like, you guys just spent 45 minutes on talking about that. Yeah. So, again, you know, it's all in the eyes of the beholder kind of thing. It's just, like, it just depends. So, I think, you know, like you're trying to say, you're shy, but you've come out of your shell a lot with us having the opportunity to talk and then going,
yep.
And Joe, what do you think? And then you just being able to have that spotlight. It doesn't, you know.
And when I'm not mumbling.
And when you're not mumbling and I'm not shooting you with a Nerf gun.
Yeah, that's
when I'm not mumbling, I'm having a great time. That's all I have to say. I do enjoy
when we have Joe at full performance, at a high peak of Joe.
But when I'm mumbling, I just want to get up and walk out.
Mumbling, stumbling.
But that pretty much narrows it down of why we started this whole thing. And I'll just say I'm definitely glad we did this and 100%. Are still doing it. Joe Rogan, if you haven't checked him out yet, what are you doing? And if you're into, like, the movie news and everything, John Campia, look him up on YouTube. Very informative, speaks very well and all that. So that I got my inspiration.
I would also really quickly, the only other one I would plug is Lights Camera Barstool.
Oh, you introduced me to them as well.
Those are our movie guys. I know I don't listen to them as much anymore just because I don't really listen to as many podcasts anymore because just, like, I don't have my commute, so, like, I don't have that time. Not that I don't have the time, but whatever. But they are like super, super informative with everything. So I love them just being able to give me all of my new movie news and stuff. So I'm huge on them. I think they're great at it, and they really do a phenomenal job there. So
All right.
yeah. What do we got? 5?
Number 5. Yes, this one comes from. All right. Well, don't look at it yet. Here it is. Here's the question: why does The Office suck? Now, first thing I want you to guess is who sent this question in.
Okay, who? Give me like I need this narrowed. Oh, is this what's his name? The kid with the glasses. This is
Matty L.
Matt,
Yeah.
I kind of hate The Office. Is that messed up? I can't even give you a proper reason why. I just watched it.
Matt is the bane of my existence on this podcast. I swear to God, I love the fact that. Again, I love someone that I can argue with because I don't hate the kid.
Yeah, right.
There's no reason for me to hate him at all. But I love the fact that I can argue with him in that degree. He is literally my bane. He is my Joker.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I am Batman. He is Joker, and this is all we do. Because now I haven't seen him since that last time.
Yeah.
So now he's just toying with
Now,
me.
yeah.
He's literally the Batman. Like I'm sitting here, I'm Batman, Bruce Wayne, just hanging out. Boom, Joker comes back in, leaves a bomb on my front porch, and that's what it is.
I think The Office sucks.
So tell us why. I know you said you can't really explain it, but why? What was your first impression of it, maybe?
Dude, I can't do sitcoms or whatever the hell that is.
But you like Parks and Rec. You like
The
The Good Place.
I don't know.
How do you like Parks and Rec, but you don't like the... Look,
I don't know. They don't vibe with me. You know what? I don't work very much, so I think it's the whole Office thing that I don't really vibe with.
I don't know. Like, come on now. You gotta...
No, like, what else do you want me to say? Like, it's not my wave. Like,
You don't like Michael Scott?
Oh, I love Michael Scott. I've told you.
Okay, all right.
I like Michael Scott, but he's not the problem, believe me.
Yeah.
I just can't deal with that whole...
I think The Office is phenomenal TV. It's not the greatest TV show of all time. It's
Right,
not.
no.
It's a great TV show. It's a great comedy. There are better comedies. Like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, in my opinion, is light years ahead of The Office because of what Always Sunny does. The Office is still great. I will put The Office on and I will binge it. I just think Always Sunny, I know this is going to sound like weird. It's smarter. It's like a Rick and Morty. They play to what's going on in the world. They play to all the things that we're doing and whatever. So I think, it's hard because I love The Office. Do I think it's another show that's on the hype train of everything? Yeah, 100%. But that doesn't take away from it being still a good show. Like, obviously, the later seasons are bad. They're bad.
Yeah.
They're bad.
I wouldn't even say they're like bad.
They're bad, dude. Come on, they're bad.
Well, once he left.
You're gonna sit here and tell me they're not bad, but you're also gonna sit here and tell me that Thrones was bad?
I think they're watchable.
I disagree.
Okay.
I 100% disagree. I think there's a certain point that I just like...
Yeah.
I stop, and then I literally wait and go and watch The Wedding, and that's like Dwight's wedding, and that's I will take a gap and just be like, nope, we're good. We don't have to read
Once
that.
what's his name went into the manager's office, Ed Helms' character.
Oh yeah,
I think it was pretty bad from there. Not
against
Ed Helms. Yeah, not against him. It did definitely.
No, they brought in. Sure. They just didn't bring in the best people, man. They just brought in a staff of like, what was her name, Millie?
Millie, yeah.
The redheaded fuck that was
the receptionist.
No,
that
Millie
was Aaron.
Wasn't Millie the?
Don't look at me, bro.
Wasn't that the redhead that was dating Toby? Bro, you're talking about the later seasons here. Come on.
No.
Bro, look up.
All right, Millie. Is this the girl that was at
Isn't she the British one?
Oh yes.
Isn't her name Millie or something?
Yeah. Her and Toby weren't going out, but like Toby liked her.
No, didn't they? I thought they low-key had a thing.
No, like she had like I guess like sympathy for him or some shit like that, and like she faked going out with him or something like that. Yeah, they weren't like going out. I know exactly who you're talking about now, and I thought she was a good character. I thought she was a good character in it. Listen, The Office is a fantastic show. Yeah, I liked her. I liked her in the show. A little annoying at first, but then she grew on me a little bit. What's up?
I just want to say I appreciate is cultural impact the right
Nelly.
word for
Cultural.
that?
Maybe her
The
name is.
cultural impact that The Office brought.
Mhm.
Like I know it touched a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, but
It
Game of
touched
Thrones
them.
had a better cultural impact.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
They ruined it.
Because no, but stop. So here's the two lanes that you're talking about with The Office. Had a huge cultural impact of comedies and sitcoms into the modern household, right? Game of Thrones did the exact same thing with sci-fi and fantasy, which was never heard of.
Right. And that's a phenomenal thing, you know?
No, and that's what I'm saying.
Guys
So
like us especially love that
so,
kind of
but
stuff.
that's the thing. We grew up with that. Like, we grew up loving that. So now the casual watcher is like, I've always liked comedies as one of my favorite genres. So now a comedy on TV is so much better for me because I can watch more of it. There's more content, but the cultural impact of the shows, I think, are parallel with what they've done because they've introduced that either comedy aspect of like the vulgar boss that everyone's wanted because everyone's had that boss or had that coworker that's been like them, or Game of Thrones, which is the complete opposite, but it has the cultural impact of bringing people who never watched Star Wars or never watched Star Trek or never watched a comic book movie into a fantasy drama related world.
Yes, yeah.
So, I agree. Cultural aspects wise, it's a great show. It is in my top favorite shows. I'm not going to sit here and die on that hill of saying, like if we're talking about Netflix shows and if it's considered a Netflix show, if you want to, it's on my top 5. Probably.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But it's not going to be one, I don't think.
It's a go-to for me when I'm about to go to bed.
It's great because you can just throw it on. You can just listen to it.
Hell yeah.
We had a joke back in college. All the guys that I lived with my senior year, like Dunshie and all them. Dunshie lived upstairs next to me, and he always said it was so funny because he only heard the Office theme song playing and the Parks and Rec theme song, but he would go at like any time of the night, and he was convinced I would play any of those on a loop. Because he's like, dude, I'd go to the bathroom at like 1 a.m. and I would only hear the Office theme song, and then he's like, I'd wake up at 6 and I'd only hear the Office theme song. So he's like, I don't know if you were playing it on a loop or what was going on or whatever, but that was definitely the one of the better parts. But yeah, dude, so great with that shit.
Have you watched the full episode of it?
Yeah.
You have?
You
Okay.
guys
All right. I'm just seeing if you.
Listen.
seeing if you actually gave it a fair chance. You know.
Oh my god. There was.
I just don't know anyone who doesn't like it. To be honest with you.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe that's who my wife is. Somebody that doesn't like The Office.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Find her.
Maybe.
You should put it in like your Tinder bio. Does not like Office. Start a conversation because
That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should literally. I'm not even kidding. If you have a dating profile, you should put like The Office is wildly overrated. Start a convo, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, shit.
Bam! Dating advice is the new thing on the show.
Shit. Luke,
Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Sexy lady. All right.
I've watched a couple episodes though. I have, and it's not
I don't wanna
bad
hear.
TV. I don't get like that kind
Matt?
of comedy. I don't know.
I'll see you soon. All right, Joker. See you soon.
All right.
He's Batman.
I'm Batman.
We are gonna move on to our 6th question, which comes from Maria, who says, "Talk about other cultures like foods, language, kinds of life." This is pretty broad.
Okay, great. Hi, Maria. How are you?
Yes. Thank you for the question.
So, you know what? Really quickly,
Yeah.
I would love to do. Maria is got a pretty good idea. Do you remember what was it we used to do in high school? Remember that day where Cultural Day.
Oh yeah.
We should do that on the pod one day.
Hell yeah.
And just find foods and bring it in and we can review them.
Oh,
like
I'm so
you know,
down for
like
that.
I'll do a pierogi review and so fucking cool. Have you had pierogies? Do you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Pierogies, dumpling. Oh, dude, we should literally just do foods that are like in other. So we could do pierogies. We could do dumplings. We could do technically. You could do a oh my god. Empanadas.
Empanadas.
So you can do the three of those together, and those are three different cultures. Just spitballing. But yeah, no, I think we've talked about it obviously in the past couple episodes with just the cultural impact of what's going on in the world right now. So I will say, to one degree, I try to stay out of certain things because I don't want to, number one, sound like an asshole, or number two, ignorant. I try never to. I know I come off sometimes saying it. I apologize. But I do my absolute best to not, so I don't want to ever get, like, fact-checked like that. If I get a stat wrong or a team wrong, like, what are you going to, But I don't ever want to insult someone's culture like that.
Oh, yeah,
where
right.
I could, offend them. Because, again, not to say we live in a sensitive society, but we do. But I hope people understand I'm never trying to do that. It's just that, for the most part, I'll stay away from it because I don't want to necessarily offend. But cultural-wise, I'm Irish and I'm German. My mom's parents came here from Ireland, her grandparents came here from Ireland. My grandfather was born in the United States, but we're Irish on that side. And I'm German and Polish on my dad's side of Gans, Gramling, and Gramling, Gallagher, and O'Connor are my Irish sides. So, born in a town of Mayo. I know my family is from Mayo in Ireland. The German side kind of gets broken up a little bit because there was like German and a little bit of Polish, so they're mixed. But yeah, that's me. I'll just really quickly.
Okay. Well, I'll just go off and say I'm Italian and Irish, and I think a little dash of German. Very little dash of German.
Little sprinkle.
But I love my pasta. I love my spaghetti and meatballs. Lately, into the Japanese culture, sushi has been my shit. Been ordering it twice a week, I would say.
Fuck. Where are you getting it from?
Dude.
Sushi from Kazu?
Oh, yeah, no, Yakusao's in Borough.
Bro, why haven't you had sushi from Kazu?
I haven't had it there. It's
Kazu.
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
so fucking good.
Well, I get it from Oyakuso's because you pick it up, it's 50% off.
All right, so what? That's fucking crazy.
I get rolls
what?
for $3.
All right, so wait. I'm low-key such a fake sushi person. So my family likes sushi. My girlfriend likes sushi. I was a very picky eater as a kid, and I've like evolved as I've gotten older, but I did not like sushi for the longest time. So I finally said I would try tempura rolls because I'm like, all right, it's cooked. I feel a little bit more comfortable. It's fried, whatever.
Yeah.
I started eating it, and then, like you said, bro, I have it probably once a week now. I'm not even kidding. Like my go-to, I get a shrimp tempura. I'll occasionally get chicken, but like most of the places don't make a good chicken, so I kind of stay away from it. A sweet potato roll, and the one place I get makes a salad roll, bro. So rice, obviously, seaweed wrapping, asparagus, mayo, this other sauce, salad, and crab meat.
Sounds pretty good.
So good.
That's not a California roll, is it?
I don't think so. The place I go to, well, the place
No, I didn't get California today. I got Philadelphia.
The place, I gotta look it up, but I know. So like, the weird thing is they all have different names at certain places. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look.
Look up the salad one. I'm gonna look up what's in the one in the California roll.
Bro, you gotta go to Sushi by Kazu though.
Where is that?
It's down. So if you're going on 9, like leaving my house, do you remember leaving my house, like by the Acme? You know the Acme back there.
Yeah.
So as you are going by, there's a little shopping center that like nobody used to go into. Doesn't really have like a 7-Eleven or anything big in it. It's got like 2 military sign up places in it. It's in there. It's so good. You know where it is? It's next to an auto body shop, right?
Like it's like this, and Kazu's like there. Right?
Yeah, and it's next to an auto body shop.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
We gotta try that one day, for sure. It's a date.
It's a date.
Tell me one, Frank. I guess back to all like, it's not even cultural. I mean, I'm Irish and Italian as well, but for me, I've always been so interested in other cultures.
Oh yeah,
here you go.
100%.
Sorry, lettuce, shrimp, crab, asparagus, mayo.
Gotcha.
So good, dude.
That
so
does sound
good.
really good. You know what makes no sense to me? Frank, we were talking about this. The Philadelphia roll with cream cheese in it.
And it's good.
It's so good.
No, it was
it's
good.
So
Don't
good.
get me wrong. We swapped sushi before, like the Philadelphia roll is good. I wouldn't buy it, but
Swap sushi.
we swapped more than just sushi. But, we'll leave it at the sushi for now.
No, but dude, I 100% agree with you, and so I wish I was more involved with learning about other cultures at a younger age, but so this kind of goes back to like how I told you guys I always go on national park trips. My grandfather always used to do national park trips everywhere. So when I was younger, we used to do a big family trip either every 3 to 4 years and go to a national park. I think that has put a lot of cultural knowledge on me. Again, it's not going to another country. Like I went to Iceland, and I think that was one of the most culturally amazing experiences ever because it's so much different than the United States, and it's so beautiful. But then again, there's beautiful places in the United States that you can go to that the culture is different.
Yeah.
So I think it's like it's amazing how we can take different opportunities and really kind of finesse them into how you want to make it in your own. So culturally, I continue to always try to be better with it and learn and do that. And I think everyone should to a certain degree because we need to have.
It's important, man.
Well, dude, we need to have more understanding in the world, regardless if you're a Republican or a Democrat, black or white. You have 10 legs or 5 legs or 2 legs. I don't give a shit. Like, look, we're all pretty bad people at the end of the day. Like, we all do pretty shitty things. Like, we're people. We're killing our planet. We're killing the animals on it. We're killing the forest. We're killing the ozone layer. I'll go on for 10 minutes talking about what we're doing bad. But we're also good people, and there are also good people and good cultures that we can all learn from and take things to try to make a better impact on life and whatever. So we all need to be more proactive with it in giving that time to cultures and time to people and time to projects, whatever it might be. Because if you don't, look at where we're going to be when we have kids. Look at what our kids are going to be. Our kids are going to be fucked. They're already kind of fucked. They're already kind of in a shitty position. So, we need to set them up in a good spot by doing that, in my opinion. But
question for you guys. Do you guys have like a culture that like intrigues you the most that you maybe aren't that informed
you said what culture was the best for you? Most informative. Or the one you like the most. What did you say it was? I wanted to...
What did I say? Well,
Japanese culture, right? Yeah. The is...
Battery.
Can I still go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Gang. So is it Japanese culture is with samurais, correct? I don't want to... Again, see, this is me trying to be...
Dude, I'm more like, I'm talking about modern day Japanese, bro. Like, I mean, I think it's with samurais. I know they got the katanas and stuff.
Well, I'm not gonna make any. I'm not gonna say anything and kick
do you
myself
have like
in
a
the ass,
culture that intrigues you the most, though? Like maybe one you're not too informed on that you would like.
I think Native American culture is sick because I think, yeah, we low key.
Let's not talk about what we did.
Let's talk about whatever. Cool but I think it's a fascinating culture to learn from. Like I got really fascinated by them because of like lacrosse. They started lacrosse, and like it's so funny to watch that. Like it's a white people sport now. Like it's like a rich white person sport kind of thing, which is pretty funny in my opinion because it's like this was started by literally like the first people. Like that's a sport that was started by them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm super fascinated by that and going out west and learning about like the different tribes and I was able to see Crazy Horse up close and personal. Do you know what Crazy Horse is? Crazy
I'm not
Horse,
too sure.
The monument. So you know what Mount Rushmore is, right?
Right.
Okay. So this is a perfect example of cultural appropriation, whatever you want to say. I might have butchered that. So, Mount Rushmore, America's greatest presidents, right? Mm-hmm. Crazy Horse is a monument to a Native American, I'm almost positive, chief that was at the Battle of Crazy Horse and is a huge part of that culture. So there was a man who wanted to document that this gentleman, Crazy Horse, who Crazy Horse has absolutely no photos of him taken, no pictures, no nothing. So we had nothing to go off of it besides other people's recollections for it. but it's a giant monument out west, literally almost not identical to, like, obviously Mount Rushmore, but it's in the side of a mountain. It's literally one of the most awe-inspiring things you'll ever see in your life. It's absurd. Like, it's so cool. I don't know. I typed in crazy house. Good. But here, I'll show it to you really quickly.
Sure.
So.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to take over, I think, like 100 more years to finish the entire thing. But right now you have him and he's pointing. And every year they do more and more. But the craziest thing about this is all funded by donations that people make and and people that like visit the parks. That's it. The state and the federal government do not fund this at all. So this is all basically like a passion project. So if you can see, that white sculpture is what it's going to look like eventually. The horse will be there. It's him sitting on the horse and riding it. So this is actually at the visitor center that you can look at, so it gives people the sign, and then next to it, it has like a little document stating some of the things about it.
That's very cool.
But again, I mean, exactly like we're talking about. And it's not your guys' fault. Like, they don't teach about it really in school.
Right,
so,
right.
It's crazy to think. It's like the United States has a monument that is very similar to Mount Rushmore that a lot of people don't know about because it relates to a Native American gentleman. So, again, it just goes back to, that stuff. So I love YouTube during this time, like right now, during the quarantine, because it's given me so much of a platform to just look up things I'm interested in or inspired in. Like, I've watched so many videos on Patagonia, the company, because like I told you, they do so many amazing things. They donate all the money they get back in taxes to, wildlife conservation and things like that. They're just amazing. So, like, culturally, I think it's super important for just us as a society to learn. Just you have to learn. Like, if you don't like science, then great, you don't need to learn about science. But we do need to learn about why something's offensive to you and why it's not offensive to me.
Right.
If you don't agree with me, then that's fine. But we should always have a sensitivity layer of like, okay, great, well, I know not to call you baldy because it offends you, because there's more reasons behind it. Obviously I'm not calling you baldy because you have your hair back, but
Do you have a culture, Frankie, that you're intrigued by, maybe that you aren't too informed in, or maybe you are?
Okay, so informed in, yes. When I went to Africa, their culture, so eye-opening. Like, extremely eye-opening, the way they live, the way they work, the stuff they eat, all of it. Their what's the word I'm trying to
way of life?
Their way of life is very different than ours as far as what's right and what's wrong. About, things about how many wives people could have over in Africa. Stuff of that nature. And I don't really want to get too much into that, but yeah, it's
people are getting 3 over there.
yeah, like I'm just saying it's just very different over there, and I'm much more informed in it than I was before I went to Africa. So that's why it intrigues me. Mexican culture, honestly. And their food, I think, is phenomenal. I love the spicy stuff, which we'll be getting into shortly. But I would say them, because I don't know too much about it. I guess I'll just say that.
No, I mean, that's a great one too. I think so. Spanish culture in general, not like Spanish like Spain, but South America, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, like all of the islands, everything that is involved with like. Because I don't want to say Latin American, because it's not like Spanish. I might be saying it incorrectly. I hope I'm not. But so my girlfriend's Cuban, so that's been super.
Who sent this in?
Is she Cuban?
Well, no. Oh no, Colombian. Sorry, Colombian.
All good.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's super informative to learn about it. Like, I think back in the day, I wasn't really intrigued by Spanish culture. Like, I was, I just didn't get it as much, and it was whatever to me. Now I'm so much more intrigued because like. I talked to her parents, and I talked to her, her father's Polish, but it's pretty funny. Funny combo, Cuban and Polish. But eventually, if I marry her, I'll be German and Irish, Cuban and Polish. So it'll be a nice,
Wow,
interesting mix.
that's a nice blend.
But it's really great to listen to her grandparents talk to me about certain things that are super different and learning about like how just talking in general. Talking is so much different. Making certain plates, like food, is so much different. Like this to them means this or that to them, and like word variations, you know. It's crazy to think about, you know. So that's my take with it, but cool stuff. Oh God, Santa's here.
Yep, we got a newcomer coming in real quick.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Breaking news.
What up? It's your boy,
Oh my
Bandit. Take
The
a
Bandit.
seat right there.
Are you eating chicken cutlets?
We're putting hot sauce on the chicken cutlet.
Yeah, we should
afterwards.
probably do that soon. These have been sitting out.
Yeah.
You should probably eat the chicken
This
cutlets.
stay refrigerated.
Where it is? That's pretty cold still, no?
Does it keep hot sauce cold?
Yeah,
you
you're
open
supposed to. Yeah.
Really?
Hot
I
sauce
did not
cold?
know that.
What do they call it? Cold sauce?
I think it says lukewarm
Yeah.
sauce.
Ah! I get what you did there. Because my name, it's warm. My name is
Jesse,
warm.
Do you have a culture that intrigues you?
Oh, we're
that
talking
you
about
don't
cultures.
Really know about that you want to know more about, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have seen African culture in the Masai Mara
Okay,
of
Frank
Kenya.
McKnight.
However, I would love to see the culture of. Oh my God! I totally just blanked on the country. Fuck.
Blacked
Where is
out.
it? No, Amsterdam.
Dang.
Amsterdam.
Oh hell yeah.
Like European culture.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, specifically
Just specifically
because
Amsterdam,
My
yeah.
grandma's been there, and she told me like you can just walk down the street, and there's literally like strippers and see-through windows.
There's prostitutes.
And like I'm obviously not interested in that, but like weed smoking in the street, like
red light district.
Not just that. I'm also pretty sure the shroomies are also legal over there.
No,
as well.
they 100% are, and they're
it's not
legal.
Like some fucking sick druggie. I just totally want to see like.
It's a different
Well,
lifestyle.
if
It's
I
a
didn't
different.
even like do any of it, I would love because I really enjoy people watching.
Yes.
And so
It's the
I
best.
would love to just see the dynamic of.
Well,
what
they're
is
at
going
tea
on
shops.
there.
You're allowed to do most of that stuff at tea shops. So one of my cousins actually went to Amsterdam twice, and he told me about it both times. And he said it's just the craziest thing because like one night you'll go out and like you said you'll have a tea. One night you'll go out and you'll have a brownie. One night you'll go out and you'll just smoke in the tea shop. So it's so much different to think that like. And again, it's no knock on either cult. Like the United States, you don't do that. Is that a problem? Not necessarily. But at the end of the day, it's like there's certain people that like that might be better for because they get that opportunity to do it instead of them having to do it in the shadows, and then you become addicted because you can't be in the spotlight of it. You have to do it in like a and then you're like, all right, well, I felt comfortable in my little cave, and now I'm gonna do it every night. So
I would actively encourage like anybody that has the means to travel because like I mean I can tell you like Africa was definitely an eye opener. Would I would like to live in Africa? Hell no. But do I like visiting Africa and seeing what's going on?
Yeah,
of course. It was actually beautiful. Like I gotta.
It is.
I
It
think,
was fucking
the way
beautiful.
that
Yeah.
we were taught about Africa, or our perception of Africa, when we landed in the capital of Kenya, Nairobi.
Oh, it was
honestly was like miniature New York City.
Oh well, Kenya's South Africa in general is so much different than
Right,
people
Kenya
think
is
it
not
actually
South
is.
Africa.
That's what is it?
Kenya's, like, in the
Northwest?
bush.
Is that? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The capital
Yeah.
is like
What?
literally miniature New York. In a
That's
sense.
crazy.
But then like when you go further out into Kenya, it's like the bush.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
yeah.
But
So,
did you see Have a Good Trip really quickly? Did you watch that on YouTube? Did I say that right? On YouTube,
Oh,
where all the celebrities talk about it. Oh,
Yeah, the Netflix one.
yeah, the Netflix special.
Didn't like it.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
It's just these dumb celebrities talking about stupid experiences, and I really wish they took it. I wish they took the whole psychedelic thing more seriously, because they didn't really talk about its benefits and whatnot.
Yeah, but didn't the doctor spend the whole time talking
The
about
doctor
it?
was the only one that did, but then it would just go off into this unserious
I think
thing with the celebrity.
so-
I understand
no.
they were trying to make it
Yeah.
funny and whatnot, but like,
Well, so
don't know.
I think it was more. It was meant. Like, it was produced to make people not be scared of drugs.
Yeah.
It was made for your favorite people or some people that are celebrities to give you insight on what happened when they did a certain type of it. Now, yes, there's 100% a counterpoint that could be made where it's like you should be teaching a little bit more about that. But I don't know. I think, like, I thought it was a good time. I thought certain ones I was kind of like, okay, like, whatever. Like, thank you for this. I wish you would talk. Like, I thought,
The only one that was good was Nick Kroll, I thought.
Nick Kroll's was good. I thought,
Big Mouth, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
oh my God, I'm drawing a blank, but the gentleman from The Police was the one that said the cow.
Oh,
that was crazy, though.
Yeah, that was
'Cause
crazy.
He
one.
talked
Yeah,
about
yeah.
how he literally birthed a cow during this time. Like, the power of life, like what he was seeing around it. So,
Yeah.
again, I've never tripped like that. But it depends. It's in the eyes of the beholder kind of a thing. You know, it's like, look, you know, fuck it.
That's the
I told
slogan
you,
for,
I know people.
for this pod.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Literally, caption, eyes of the beholder pod.
Eyes of the beholder,
Well,
yeah.
I told you I knew people that went to Cosmic,
Cosm, yeah.
Cosm. Like, I knew good friends of mine back in college, like people I saw on a daily basis that would go there all the time. Was that my thing? No, but I always respected their point of view. It was a little different than mine, but so was African culture to me.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
it's like, I'm not going to tell you that you should trip every single day. Probably not smart.
Not smart
If
at
you
all.
microdose and it's healthy for you and it helps a soldier who's having terrible time sleeping or whatever it is, again, I would go the pot route first, personally,
yeah.
with situations like that.
Yeah, that's just a
But,
bro.
exactly. But at the end of the day, I think that's just my overall conception of it. It's like, you can't, because so many people, I mean, look at our parents. They used to judge the shit out of pot smokers.
Yeah, right.
Then what happened? Their kids started smoking pot.
Hey.
And then what happened? We let them know that we're perfectly functioning adults and that we can still have jobs and we can still do things. Well, maybe not Joe. But just in general, it's, so it's become so funny growing up in the society of, like, again, we weren't alive during the psychedelic eras of coke and that crazy
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
Then we're living in the pot era. Look at pot. 10 years ago, if you were like, I'm a pot smoker,
Yeah.
I knew people in high school, dude. I used to be the pot, like I was the pot guy. I don't care, like I love what marijuana can do in the positive light.
Absolutely, yes.
I smoked back in the day because I didn't like drinking. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't get in a car because I could possibly kill someone, take someone else's life. I liked the possibility of me being sober at the end of the night and feeling comfortable enough to get other people home. So I was judged all of high school because people didn't like me for being the pothead because I didn't drink.
Yeah,
So,
right.
it's so funny to watch how life has changed now because you're all smoking pot, you assholes. You're all smoking a joint or doing a dab or doing a pen or eating a brownie. And it's like, I was the bad guy back in the day. Now look at me. I don't even do it, but I still support it because I know family members that have passed away since, but stage 4 lung cancer, they could only do anything because they were eating brownies. That was how they could eat during the day.
Sure.
Because they didn't lose appetite from their drugs. Because that made them feel no pain. Like, so it's such a bullshit, like, no one opens their eyes to these things. Everyone's just judgmental in
Yeah.
life. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's drugs, school, race, sexuality. Like, again, you believe what you want to believe, but at the end of the day, it's like, be more open-minded, and that's how, as a society, we'll be in a better spot, So,
100%.
But
All right. So, Jesse, I brought you down here because we got someone who wanted to be left anonymous ask a
Yeah.
question. Why is Jesse McKnight so bad at Smash? That is the question. And what is your response?
My response is I am literally top 5 of my own character, literally in the world. I don't see the relevance to the question and what we were just speaking in, and I have a feeling I know who this is. And
I'm going to find you, and I'm going to kill
match
you.
me for. I would money match you for about $4,444, and if you beat me, I will give you the deed to my house.
Okay. Let's start unpacking this really quickly. First off, do you have a house?
When I purchase my first home,
It will belong
be
to
in
that.
your name, and I will pay you rent even though I bought my own home.
Okay.
Dang. All right. Whoever you are, anonymous, you're getting called out right now, bro. You
You are
better.
definitely bitch made.
You better.
I am definitely not scared of you at all, and you're a sheep. That's all.
Oh my God.
Who do you think it was?
I think it was Matt Ellis. It could definitely be
My Joker.
Joe.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't Joe or Matt Ellis. Matt Ellis, actually, you would.
Oh, was it Dan? It was Dan.
It was Dan.
Yeah.
You're okay.
It was Dan.
I'm not shocked.
Really quickly, Matt Ellis, we've decided, is my Joker.
Yeah.
I'm Batman. Matt Ellis is my Joker.
Dude, Matt Ellis, I promise you, Matt, I know you're watching. Like, I'll tell you Matt's MO right now. He finds out the popular opinion that something is
And he.
good. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it.
Well,
And then everyone's like, dude, I don't know. This kind of sucked. He was like, oh my God, what do you mean? That was a cinematic.
Yeah,
Culturally, exactly.
yeah, right.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe that.
I can't believe you would
Matt,
say such a
You are
thing.
into anime bitches. You need. I was gonna say Jesus, but that's a fictional character.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! All right. Jesus,
Get outta here.
Jesus. All right. Well, after that, we're gonna need a sugar rush. We're doing our next part really quickly before we.
Absolutely.
Move on.
We got one last question after. Oh hell yeah! Some nerds wrote.
Whoa. These are like a long time favorite of mine. 15 out of 10. Didn't even eat it yet.
Okay. So really quickly, I will say, it's amazing that back in the day, we didn't all have diabetes. Because the shit we used to put in our bodies.
I might at this point.
Oh my God.
These were always an all-time favorite of mine when I were younger. The nerds wrote. So this one's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Damn, 10 out of 10.
So sweet, so good. Nerds in general are just amazing, and I guess the rope itself is just like a sugar string, like a licorice sweetness. Like I don't even know how to explain it. It is excellent.
I'm giving it a 7.7. Joe.
8, 9. I love them too much.
All right. Well, so I used to love Skittles back in the day. It was like my favorite. So I'm actually very excited to try these because I haven't yet. They're called Skittles Dips. They're the ones that are covered in yogurt.
Whoa.
So.
That sounds weird.
Whoa. Now these are some.
There was another candy that was similar to that, right? What?
I don't.
Yo something?
Oh my God!
Come on, you got it.
Oh my God!
Right now. Oh, this is good. These are interesting. It's got that sweetness, like a vanilla kind of sweetness, like a vanilla yogurt kind of sweetness. When you bite in, you taste that classic Skittles flavor.
I'll tell you what. Not that big. Of a fan of these.
Yogos!
Yeah.
Wow.
But they didn't have like the crunchy Skittle in the middle, right? It was just a
Dude.
cream ball.
Right, those.
Yeah, those were good. I like those.
That's crazy. These were actually so good. Damn. Now that you brought that up, I'm like so tight because I want all of them.
Do they have those anymore?
No, they're gone.
They're gone, right?
I feel like these would be better if they weren't a vanilla flavor.
Yeah.
Not that the vanilla flavor is bad, because
No, I mean-
these a high rating.
Really?
I actually really like them. Maybe the lemon one not as much.
I'll give it a 5.6.
Wow. Brutal.
That's like the lowest rating of all time.
No, definitely not.
No, I don't think it is.
That's fine. I'll give it a 6.4. They're okay. If I was to eat a bag, I'd eat a bag this size, not the bigger bag. Because, I mean, it would just be, at that point, it's like, am I eating yogurt or am I eating Skittles?
7-1 for me. Same as my dream height.
I won't lie, though. Like you said, Joe, there are some that you're like, ooh, I want to eat more of this flavor. And then there's some where you're like, I want this flavor to stop.
Right. Yeah, whatever I got right now is phenomenal.
All right.
Quite good. We better finish the question and get to this chicken. It's starting to...
Absolutely.
Kind of really quickly.
Yeah.
The last one I just ate was the green. I think the green one was the best. And it's because this is going to be a blast from the past. Remember the caramel fucking apples from Six Flags?
Yes.
That's exactly what the green one tasted like.
Okay.
Yep. I literally, and I'm just tasting because I'm remembering, dude, do you remember what did we used to cop on the way out of Six Flags? Fudge and candy apples.
Yeah.
Bro, we used to come home. I literally would save all of my money that night at Six Flags. I wouldn't even do shit. I'd be like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to shoot a basketball. It's something I know I'm not going to make it in. I'm buying fudge at the end of the night. And thank God I'm like, look, I could probably, risk to lose a few and whatever, but, I'm good. Bro. Oh, the fudge at Six Flags used to be so fucking good.
All right, we're going to move on to our last question that we have here for the night. And this one comes from Mike Hottespotty.
Mike.
What was the most interesting / memorable thing that you have learned while having someone on the podcast? I'll say it's having any of the artists or creators that I have on during the spotlight episodes. Just because like we said before, could care less how many people view it or whatever. It's not, we haven't made it big or anything as far as podcasting or anything like that. It's always nice to see that there are other people trying to achieve certain things similar in that nature. You know what I mean? What were you gonna say?
And on top of that, we kind of get in their heads a little. We learn how their process, their thought.
Yeah, 100%, and I love that too. Yeah, I love that. So I would say that's it for me. I appreciate those kind of episodes so much because you just learn more about them and why they made certain songs. And one of my favorite questions I ask them is what was your inspiration from this song or whatever?
Of course.
And there's always some sort of story towards it.
Yeah.
So I always love the personal messages that they have in some of their answers and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I would say that's the most memorable thing.
So I would say off of mine, again, I would love to give a specific example. Obviously I hope that I'll be on more of the artist ones soon because I love that
absolutely.
as well too.
Hell yeah.
I think the biggest thing that I've taken away from most of them is, like I said before, just getting someone else's input.
Yes.
So I just love the fact, the thing that I love the most about it is exactly what we said about Matt Ellis before. I love to know why. We're on this trying to talk again. We haven't made it big yet. We haven't done it. Who knows if we ever will? I hope to God we do. I think we could, but at the end of the day, it's I would rather be able to sit on here and have a debate with someone about it because we want to learn. I want to know why you don't like The Office, which I learned. I want to know why you didn't like this, didn't like that. I want to know why now you like doing this. Why you started welding school, why you started your music career, why you became a teacher. So I think at the end of the day, it's I kicked that camera.
It's all
so
good.
Bad.
It's all good.
All right. Stabilize.
Regardless, I just love to know the facts of why because I feel as a society, we don't ask enough whys in the sense of why someone's doing something, why someone's passionate about something, why someone enjoys what they do. Mm-hmm. We kind of just coast by and are great, awesome, sick. And it's I know this is going to sound super dark and depressing, but I was reading something about, there was a guy on the Golden Gate Bridge, and he left a note, and he said if, he was going to commit suicide, and he's if I see one person smile at me from where I'm leaving all the way to the bridge where I'm going to jump, I will not commit suicide. I know this is super dark, but what I'm trying to say is I feel at the end of the day, it's one person's small thing could change someone else's life.
Sure.
So to learn the insides and the outsides of why people are doing things, because most of the time you'd love to sit here and have Wolf on, prime example, last week, and have him be like, yeah, no, I just want to make tons of money and rap. But that's not what he's doing. He's an artist. He's trying to make his artistic.
The opposite of what,
exactly.
What he said.
So that's the biggest thing. It's it's finding out why and realizing that there's always someone that can change and make a better point of their life and their career and whatever, and it's learning about that why. Absolutely. Because that could go and change someone's life. Who knows that someone doesn't watch this episode and go, wow, I really always wanted to weld, maybe I'll check that out, or wow, I've always wanted to start a podcast. Like, who cares? Go start a podcast.
Yeah,
who's going to judge you? Like, just don't make a podcast about something that's super not okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like go make a podcast about you sitting there. I made a podcast about sneakers and shit. We did 5 episodes. I didn't have a lot of viewership, but I didn't care because it was a way I could use my platform to try to give people my knowledge.
Hell yeah.
Show people the stuff I liked. That's all it is. That's exactly what my Instagram is. My Instagram story is literally just the shit I like, and I'm trying to have other people learn about. Again, I'm super big on, rescue foundations for dogs, pit bulls especially, because 1 in 600 finds a forever home. That's a statistic. Think about that.
That's crazy.
1 in every 600 dogs. So it's just those things. Like, use your platform and make your platform customized to you to make that. So I think that's the biggest thing with it is, like, being able to sit here and learn about someone's and, like, having those discussions to better me and to better their, everydays,
Absolutely.
You both said it like so well, like my exact feelings. Like I truly enjoy like having like these people on who live completely different lifestyles from me.
Yeah.
And they're like, I mean, a lot of them are musicians, and it's amazing. It's like a world that I felt like I couldn't understand, but I kind of do understand a little bit more now.
Sure.
Because, I mean, how many musicians do we have on here? Like 6, 8?
We've had
probably a lot.
About like 8 now. Yeah, yours just died on you, but yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a looker anyway. Like so many different perspectives from all these people.
Hell yeah.
Let's see, we've had DJs, rappers,
We've had a band, 3 Cheers Too Late on here.
We did.
Right. Yeah, we had a good amount so far.
It's just so interesting. Like, I feel like I can't really add much that you guys haven't already said, because that's really how I feel. I was just so intrigued by all these guests, and like, I mean, I'll say it again. Like, if you want to talk no guests, like you guys are just great. You guys are great.
Thanks, man.
Well, thanks, Joe.
Thanks,
You
man.
guys are great.
Thanks, man.
When it comes to
Even though I want to shoot you with the Nerf gun almost every episode, at least 10 times.
That's why I hit the Nerf gun, everybody.
First draw, closest draw. Damn.
Oh my God, he found the Nerf gun.
That better get in the little closed guy in the
Yes.
little videos. That's gonna go on the internet. Oh, well, mine didn't. Oh, damn, that was gold. That was gold.
Oh man.
I think we'll save this hot sauce for another time, you think? All right. I think we're going to end it there. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah.
Do it again, Frank. Do it again.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And also follow us on Instagram at Podcast with Frank, where we will be putting short clips of our podcast on there as well for you to check out. This was our 40th episode. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely a long one. If you made it through this far, kudos to you.
Thank you.
And we will see you next week for our 41st episode as we try out craft beers.
Support the homies.
Support the homies. All right.
Baby Yoda.
Support the goats.
Peace out, guys.
You see, there's like the stereotypes about like the SoundCloud rapper. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like follow my link or whatever. Because there is so much of that. And my issue with a lot of it is that it is all the fucking same. Not even musically. Like, I'm not talking about people's styles, but the way that they present their promotion and whatever, where it's like the same copy and paste. Like, here's the same, everyone has the same style. They all have the same imagery. Go comment on my shit, repost my shit, fucking fire emoji, fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it's all the same. And I think that rejects a lot of people from listening to people's music.
I definitely see that.
It looks fucking corny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it looks fucking corny. There's no other way to put it. So that was something that I recently tried to, like, stray away from when I really started making stuff that I was like proud of and whatever. And with the recent stuff that I've been putting on Spotify, and especially with the EP that I'm working on right now, I've been trying to kind of tone that back and work more on like the art aspect of it.
Okay.
And in promotion.